So, Fantastic Four First Steps came out just a few weeks ago, and I actually did watch it, and I haven't really had the chance to talk about it, and that's a shame because it honestly it really did surprise me. And if you remember my previous videos on the subject, you might be able to guess how, in what way exactly it did surprise me, because honestly, I did not have high hopes for this movie. And frankly, after Superman, I thought there was no way this movie could possibly live up to the other superhero movies of the year. James Gunn's Superman for me was like the best superhero movie in the past like 10 years. So, yeah, and I'll have you know that's still true. Um, but, but Fantastic Four was really good. And I don't know how and I don't know why they were able to do it. I don't know how on earth it was possible given the current state of Marvel, but they were able to do a very decent, good, entertaining movie. And it's not totally disrespectful to the comics, and that's I didn't notice anything too bad, other than like the worst they ever get in this is like making fun of Ben Grimm for saying it's clobbering time, which that's fine. Like I'd rather they didn't do it, but and I guess I know some people were upset by there being a female Silver Surfer. I guess there was one in the comics or in an alternate universe of the comics. I don't really follow that stuff too closely. Just gonna tell you now, didn't bother me, not one bit. It worked. It's because the movie is still good. It's a fine movie, and you know the Fantastic Four probably by now. They go up into space and get all irradiated, and the four of them have superpowers, right? And and the movie kind of expects that you have an idea, or at the very least, they trust you to know how superheroes work by now. They don't give you the long drawn out origin story and everyone's backstory and everything. They're superheroes. We get it. Let's move on. And I kind of like that. It's structured a little bit like, strangely enough, it's structured a little bit like The Incredibles, if you remember The Incredibles, and which is funny because The Incredibles were originally an homage to the original Fantastic Four, right? And right, you have the fun family dynamic, and you had the person with stretchy powers and the super strength and the invisibility, and um, well, you didn't have fire in The Incredibles, but you did have like super speed, which is kind of like fire, I suppose. But I digress. The movie is fun because it's so very like retro futurist. I think it's geared, it's that PG-13 style of, very Marvel, very safe, very clean, and it's this kind of weird alternate universe of the Marvel multiverse. Yuck, I know, but it's very engaging, right? And there's pretty high stakes in this, and you genuinely think that people could die. So that's something. You get these very fun interviews with the different characters starting out. Like I said, a callback to the Incredibles thing, and these cute little history lessons. And it's all very wacky and fun, and then bam, existential threat in the form of Galactus, who is, let me tell you, okay, let's start with the Herald of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, who I think was a little bit misrepresented in the trailers for this because I thought she was going to be terrible. Like the one trailer I saw, it was probably her worst scene in the movie. Um, just the worst act the her worst moment they decided to put in the trailer, because the rest of the movie she's fine. She actually does a decent job with what she's given, and like she's actually a decent enough compelling character. They treat the character with respect and treat her well. And like, okay, you've got, the other cast, they do a pretty darn good job as well. Like, you've got Pedro Pascal playing an all right Reed Richards, but just all right though. He doesn't do anything new with the role necessarily, and he isn't the main character. I don't think. If there is a main character in this movie of the four, it would probably be Sue Storm, because of course it is, because at the time of the movie, right? Uh, this isn't a spoiler. She's pregnant at the start of the movie, and Galactus. And this is a spoiler, so prepare yourself. It's just a slight spoiler, but I figure I should let you know. Um, Galactus is coming for her child, um, her cosmic super baby, and the baby has like some crazy powers, and Galactus is very interested in that. So of course, the main character of this movie is going to be the pregnant mama, right? That's sort of the right character to focus on, in my opinion, and she is very capable in this, very powerful, but it's a very deserved level of power, I think. She isn't blown out of proportion, and her desperation really adds to the feats she manages to pull off in this. And she's got her force fields and her invisibility, and she uses them in creative ways. And I do like how throughout the movie all of the different characters use their powers in very creative, uh, interesting ways. Galactus, by the way, is I think he's the best performance in the movie, hands down. I personally, the comic book character, I dislike. I'm not really a fan of Galactus. Even when I was a kid, I never really liked him. He always just kind of this big purple dork with crazy, phenomenal powers. He just always seemed a little bit silly to me. But in this movie, he is portrayed as this terrifying monstrosity on a level that Thanos could never reach. And most of that I think is due to the phenomenal acting talents of Ralph Ineson, who you can tell he's just having the best time with this role. He is just this 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 guy, this horrible, monolithic, imposing eldritch abomination, right? He's a dude. He's this giant dude, but he's smiling as he's laying waste to the world around him. His armor is like this dark, creepy looking purple, and he's enjoying destroying stuff. And while he claimed to want to be released from his terrible burden, his great purpose, I almost think that it's so that he can be a tyrant in his own right, as opposed to just wandering around eating planets all the time. It's he's so like freaky and scary in this. All in all, it's a terrific movie. And while some of the jokes kind of fall flat for me, and the CGI is odd in some places, but there are very few instances of that. There's nothing horrendous, I don't think. If a character needed more screen time, it would probably have been Grimm, the Thing. Uh, but I wouldn't call him neglected so much as the story just wasn't about him, really. At least not nearly as much as the previous movies. They focused more on Johnny Storm and gave him some depth, and obviously they focused on Sue, who who had some much needed time in the spotlight. And like they let old Reed and Ben, they let those two take a back seat for a change, which I don't mind. We have movies where they were the main characters. Granted, we didn't really have good ones, but that's not necessarily their fault now, is it? It's a cute story about family and finding your place in the universe and about what you're willing to sacrifice to save the world. And with a terrifying cosmic supervillain in the mix who is just thrown in for good measure. He felt worse than Godzilla to me personally because he's so smart and calculating and smiling. He seems like such a danger, right? In a way that like Godzilla doesn't care, right? It's a big lizard. Godzilla's not like actively meaning you harm. He's just doing it. Galactus is coming to destroy everything you care about, and he's going to do it because he wants to, and he's smiling as he's doing it. And that is so freaking terrifying to me. He's like a nightmare come to eat the world. So yeah, it's good stuff, I think. Um, so yeah, well done, Marvel. I still not as good as Superman in my opinion, but it was a lot better than Thunderbolts, and I loved Thunderbolts. And so I don't really know what they've been smoking over there, but they need to smoke more of it, and soon, in time for Doomsday. But yeah, so yeah, until then, bye.